Welcome to my page, Mr. Never Not Working, because I'm always up to something, also known as Mr. Buttered. And today what I got for you is my experience in Thailand. Not quite the experience you would expect. I know Thailand is known for the fun, the scenery, the food. I got something else for you. Have you ever been injured or gotten sick while vacationing? No? Have you ever thought about it? Now, this is strictly for those who have not. I'm pretty sure some people have, but for those who have not, this is for you. Pay attention, right? Stay tuned, and I'm gonna share my experience of how I got into an accident while vacationing in Thailand, how I was handled, the hospitals that I dealt with, and how insurance took care of everything. So stay tuned. So at the time of recording, exactly 1 year ago, in February of 2024, my girlfriend and I decided to take a trip to Thailand. It was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, you know, we're talking 3 weeks in Thailand, another week in Bali. So we got to Thailand, spent the first 5 days in Bangkok. Beautiful experience. So the next day we traveled to Chiang Mai, got there in the evening. The next day we decided to hop on a motorcycle, which was a pretty popular thing to do. It's one of the best ways to get around the city instead of hailing Grab, which is their version of Uber. Everywhere you went, you know, you hop on a bike, but it has its dangers, as I came to find out. So anyways, we got to Chiang Mai. The next day we had breakfast, hung out by the pool for a little bit, and then we decided to go get our motorcycle. So we got on the motorcycle, rode around the city, and then we decided to go meet up with my girl's cousin, who's a teacher in Chiang Mai. So we met her at a mall in Chiang Mai. A beautiful place, you know, good food, fruits, the whole night. They had it all. So when we met her, she put us on, you know, things and places to see while in Thailand, or particularly in Chiang Mai area. One of the places that she mentioned that we were gravitated to was a mountain called Du Suthep, which is the highest peak in Chiang Mai. We hopped on the bike after the lunch and, you know, we head out, rode through the city, and eventually we hit the main road, which will take us all the way to this mountain. Beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. You know, the roads are beautiful, no potholes, nothing. Maybe this was my downfall because there was, you know, it was just too good for me to just take my time. Now, mind you, I hadn't been on a motorcycle in a long time. So we ride in and we're having fun. The scenery is beautiful, recording here and there. And eventually, you know, we decided to just put the camera away and, you know, just enjoy the ride. And while going on this road, like I said, you know, there weren't many cars on the road for me to, you know, mind or, you know, any cause for concern. So it was just, you know, straight ride. And at times I'll go a little bit too fast. The thing with this road, because en route to a mountain, so instead of it being a flat hill, you know, it's a winding road to the top. So some of these turns could come at you fast. There were times when, you know, when I'm going too fast and a turn comes, you know, I'll push turn, right? And that will kind of slant the bike. Those who ride bikes know exactly what I'm talking about. And, you know, my girlfriend, she was getting nervous. She was like, you know, slow down. I don't feel safe. I'm like, nah, it's cool. You know, it felt good. It felt okay, right? Carelessness on my part because I really should have. It would have been okay if we were just going straight, but we're riding on the road for the first time. I don't know where the turns are when they're coming. And another thing, in Thailand, they drive on the opposite side, on the left side. That was another thing that I should have considered. So we're on our way to the top, and I'll probably say maybe halfway. One of those turns came at me too fast. I overcorrected my turn and we lost control. Boom. Took us down. Instinctively, I took out my left leg to, you know, brace the fall. That was not a wise idea because what happened with my leg was pretty much why we're here telling this story in totality. So anyways, the bike went down, my girlfriend got up, and the first thing she said was, you know, get up. You know, I guess because she got up, she didn't think it was a big deal. But I did a quick scan from head to toe, and I just felt it. I just felt something wasn't right with my leg, you know. I've never broken a bone, and I'm very, very finicky when it comes to bone breaking. That's one area that I rather not deal with. So anyways, for that to happen to me, I thought I would have freaked out a little bit more. I did not. It's good to always be in a meditative state of mind and I guess prayerful person. You know, anything happen, you gotta be able to resort back. So anyways, I did a quick scan and I was like, nah, my leg ain't right. My leg is broken. She's like, no, it's not. I guess because we fell in a way where, you know, she just got up with scraped knee. She probably thought something like that happened, but no, I felt it. I knew it was something more serious. Now, again, because they're right on the left side, we slid. We kind of ended up partially in the opposite coming lane. My thought was, okay, the opposite coming lane, when they're coming, they're descending, so it could be coming fast. And this was, you know, almost in a turn. So my thoughts was, you get out of the way. So I was on my stomach and I pretty much crawled on my stomach all the way to the other side of the road. So that's when, you know, I was able to roll over and, you know, get a good look at my leg. And yes, it was not how it was supposed to be. I didn't think we were in that kind of trouble. I was like, yeah, you know, just gonna seek some help, maybe, you know, go to a hospital. It's probably just dislocated, so they're just gonna set it back and, you know, we're gonna go about our trip. Remember, this is only the sixth or seventh day into our trip, but I guess I was just dreaming. I was fantasizing. I had in fact broken a bone. I had broken my fibula. So the fibula, you know, some may know, is your calf bone, the smaller bone in your lower leg. And I had dislocated the main joint in my foot. In a short period of time, you know, people, you know, started coming by, locals and also tourists who were also on their bikes. They started coming by and wondering what happened and offering help. And, you know, people were very nice and thoughtful. People were giving me water. I just remember trying to be as calm as possible. When people come and they see my leg, their reaction was like, ooh, you know, some people were squeamish when they saw it, but, you know, I was trying my best to calm people down. So anyways, I was trying to figure out the next course of action. And one thing that came into my mind was, I have sustained some kind of injury in a very foreign land. This was not in the plan. Like, when you travel, you don't think about these things. I don't know about you, but when I travel, of course, yeah, you know, when you want to be as careful as possible, but, you know, getting into that kind of trouble is not something that you look forward to. So, you know, it started dawning on me that I'm going to be dealing with some kind of health system that I have no idea how it's going to be. The first thing that I was kind of nervous about was what level of care I was going to receive. But hey, it had already happened. So as long as I get some help and I'm able to move on. After all, it was just a broken leg, right? My head was still good. Everything, we were all good. So anyways, one of the locals who stopped by called the ambulance. One thing with Thailand, language barrier is an issue. They wanted to help, very little English. And of course, we don't speak Thai at all, but, you know, we were able to, simple words, explain that ambulance was on the way. So within I'll say about 20-25 minutes tops, an ambulance showed up. The medics, I remember they showed up and they were wearing Crocs. I was like, yeah, I'm in trouble, right? Because, you know, I was kind of expecting, you know, I guess like medics here in Toronto, Canada, how we have it here. So when they showed up, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go through it. They came, picked me up on a stretcher, stabilized my leg, and put me in this ambulance. Now, inside this ambulance, it wasn't well equipped. If I had more serious injury, I don't think they could have helped me much. Thank God it was only broken leg. So they took us to the public hospital in Chiang Mai. The hospital was called Maharaj Nakhon. That's their local government hospital or public hospital. So we get taken in, they put my girl in a wheelchair to bring me a stretcher and they wheel me into a different section. Now, let's take it back for a bit. As we walk into the entrance of the hospital, I was like, wow, okay. This is a lot better than I expected, okay? It was nice, clean area, you know, they had everything. Because Based on my impression with the ambulance that came, I thought it was gonna be, you know, like a very low-end service that we were going to receive. But no, we walked in, they had all the equipment. The only thing was, again, language barrier. Anyways, I went to my section. There were about, I'll say about 10 people in that ward. When I had a few minutes to kind of collect myself and observe the room, I realized that most people in that room were there because of some kind of motor vehicle accident. There were people with their head wrapped, people with broken arm, legs. I was like, yeah, I guess this motorcycle accident is, you know, pretty normal out here. That brought me some kind of comfort in a sick way, because I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. So the care in this hospital, amazing staff. All the staff looked young. It was kind of hard to tell who was a nurse and who was a doctor. I would say within about 4 hours of being in the hospital, I was taken in for surgery. This particular hospital, this government hospital, they weren't equipped. They didn't have everything on hand. So as far as the surgery, this hospital wasn't equipped for, you know, to do it all. I needed 2 surgeries. Obviously one to, you know, locate it, and the other was to put a plate in. They didn't have the plate. It would have taken another week. So the first surgery was, you know, for them to set the foot back in place and put, you know, reductors in them to stabilize the foot until the plate came in. So at this point, I'm like, oh my goodness. We were only supposed to be here for 3 days and then, you know, on to Phuket and all these other places. But I guess now we're looking at 1 week alone in the hospital till I get a plate. God being so great, after my surgery, the next day, my girl decided to go back and handle our affairs with the hotels where we were staying and such. One quick point, the hotel we were staying, on the way to the hotel, there was a sweet lady that did laundry. She had her little laundromat, if you will. We had dropped off our laundry the morning off before we went to rent our motorcycle. My girl went there to, you know, let her know we'll, you know, make another arrangement to pick up our stuff, because we were supposed to pick it up later that day. But because of our accident, we'll come back. Luckily, when she went back there to have that conversation with the lady's daughter was there at this time. Of course, she heard what had happened to us, and she told us, you know, there's a private hospital that could take care of us, much better care, and, you know, we being tourists probably have travel insurance, and, you know, they will handle it. That news was God sent. It was everything we needed in that moment. Because to think about, you know, spending 1 week in a hospital just to get a plate, and who knows how much longer we were gonna be there before clear to fly back. Another thing that she had to deal with was the motorcycle rental company filing police report. So when she got in touch with the motorcycle company, they dealt with her so well. We heard about the accident. I guess they had tracking devices on all their bikes. They had gone for the bike, and we thought we were in this big trouble, but no, they were very helpful. They assisted with the process of, you know, how everything should be handled, the police report that has to be filed, even the insurance that they offer. Like, we inadvertently had insurance with the rental that we didn't even know. We just paid, when we rented, we just paid, but thankfully there was insurance included with our rental. My girl came back with all of these great news. We don't have to stay in this public hospital much longer, because this private hospital that she found out about, called Chiang Mai Ram, a USA accredited hospital, so the level of care was up there. The only thing is you have to have insurance or you have to have cash. Luckily, we had insurance and they billed directly. The first hospital, the public hospital, they did not bill directly, so we had to pay out of pocket. So to give you an idea of how much it costed us, with the motorcycle insurance deducted, we were left with a bill of equivalent to about $700 Canadian. To get surgery, get reductors, and stay overnight, you know, with meals and stuff for $700. I mean, that's fairly good. So we got all this information and we made the arrangement as quick as possible. We got in touch with Chiang Mai Ram, the private hospital. They came for us. It was like night and day as far as service goes. Service at the public hospital wasn't bad at all, but this one here was next tier. First of all, the ambulance they came with a porter, you know, very nice. They spoke a little bit more English. The ambulance was more equipped. They had, more equipment in there to take care of patients. So I felt very comfortable in that. It was about 15-minute drive from, the old hospital to the private one. So we get there, and within, I'll say 1 hour tops, we had seen the surgeon. We had all the consultations. We had all the tests, labs done, and our room appointed. This was next level care. Now, this hospital is very popular with tourists. People do what is called medical tourism there. They'll take a trip, go over there and get, head to toe assessments and tests and treatment procedures done there for a fraction of the cost still. So the plate that was gonna take 1 week in the previous hospital, they had everything. So that surgery was scheduled for the next day. So the next day they came for me, brought me into surgery, did the surgery, took the reductors off and put the plate in. Quick, fast, back to my room. First of all, the room, we didn't even call it a room, it was a suite. It was a really big room, my bed, and there was another makeshift bed that doubles as a couch. We ended up having to cancel all our hotels, which was, great, because if they had put me in a room, one single hospital bed, then my girl still would have had to stay in a hotel and maybe go in and out. So, the whole experience was amazing. The food was great. Dealing with insurance was seamless because they do direct bill. So everything straight to the insurance, and then they will report to us what the insurance is saying as far as arrangement to get us back to Canada when the time comes. So we stayed there a total of 9 days, and we kind of rushed it. We probably could have stayed there a little bit more, and I wanted to. I know it was a hospital, but it was still in Thailand. This is in February. The weather was beautiful there. I missed the walks that we used to take outside. By walk, I'll be in a wheelchair while being pushed outside for some fresh air. It was an experience. The time came, was stable enough to fly back. Well, insurance arranged for us to get back. Now, this is what it entailed. Car service from the hospital to the airport. When we got to the airport, we had lounge access, all the foods you could have. And of course, because I'm in a wheelchair, we get to skip the line. And the cherry on top of it all, we get to fly business class. It was my first time flying business class. I hate the fact that it had to be in the condition that I was in, but it was very helpful because, the condition that I was in, I could not be in no coach area of an airplane. I needed to have my foot elevated. So far, insurance is taking care of all of these things. And then when we got to Toronto, we also had a car service with a liaison, picked us up from the airport and brought us to my door. This is the part that I want to stress, the importance of having insurance. Main reason why I'm doing this video. When you travel, do not sleep on insurance. I put the insurance that we dealt with in the description below, so you can check them out. Most of the time when you travel, when you buy your ticket on credit cards, depending on which credit card you may have, they might have travel insurance attached to it. However, if they don't, it's very important for you to look for your own. And a lot of these insurance also, sometimes it's limited, covered for, sometimes it's only for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So you have to find out if you're covered for that time, so that if you need extra, you could get that extra coverage. Because like I said in the beginning, nobody travel with the intention of getting hurt, but it is a reality that can very much happen, as I found out for myself. And these insurance, a lot of times they don't cost a lot, a few dollars, and you're covered for major situation that will arise. And if it doesn't, hey, you know what? It's not a lot of money to lose. So to give you an idea, if we didn't have insurance, how much our cost would have been. The first stay at the hospital, we paid out of pocket $700 Canadian. For the private hospital, we stayed there for 9 days. I had a surgery there, with all the medication and everything, treatment. Also, in the private hospital, it wasn't just a care medication. I also received rehab. Anything from teaching me how to walk with crutches, some exercises to, keep my muscles from atrophy. So they kept me active. So every day, once a day, I'll go in for a treatment. at the rehab section of the hospital. So with all of this included, that bill came up to about $25,000. So that's $25,000 that we would have to fork up for that kind of care, but it cost us nothing. So I stress once again, do not travel without insurance. I hope I did not leave out anything. This was just straight off the cuff. I was moved to do this and share with people my experience with having an accident overseas and hoping that it will help somebody. Do you know anybody who have experienced anything like that overseas, such as accident or illness while traveling? Were they covered? Were they not? Comment below your experience. In the meantime, I hope this information finds you well, and I hope you never have to use it, but in case you do, I hope it becomes useful to you. And if you feel like I've earned it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, or as they say in Thailand, Kapung ka.